Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, Daily Motion, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for Sunday, February 15th, 2015, around 2:39 in the afternoon in Billerica, Massachusetts. The sun is out after a foot or more of snow dropped in many places in eastern New England, still under a blizzard watch, a lot of wind, blowing snow, drifting snow, lots of records being set in this winter, and the snowy pattern continues, maybe on Tuesday, maybe several inches and stuff. Everybody's getting sick and tired of snow, but you know, it's winter. Sooner or later, this weather pattern has to end, because it can't snow in July or stuff, or something will be terribly wrong. And some news to report, sad news to report in the world of NHL. Former NHL defenseman Steve Montador passed away at the age of 35, cause of death unknown at this time. And that's about it on that. My next subject is about some NBA changes that might be taking place beginning next season. At Commissioner Adam Stern's State of the NBA press conference last night at the All-Star game in Brooklyn, New York, Adam said that there's a few things that might be taking place in the NBA next year. Some tweaks to the schedule, maybe some tweaks to NBA playoff formatting, and also some tweaks to the draft lottery. One of the major points that Adam Silver was talking about at his State of the NBA press conference about the NBA preseason. The NBA preseason usually has 8 games. They have a training camp, but 8 games for a preseason is a little bit too long, in my opinion. And half of these games are sparsely attended, even in the home arenas. And the neutral site games usually get a sellout and stuff like that. I think what they're gonna do with the preseason, they'll still have a training camp, but I would not be surprised if they only have 2 to 4 preseason games for the NBA. And usually NBA rosters have 15 players on it. They could suit up 12 and at a game, and they could have 3 extras for the maximum of 15. And each NBA team knows who they're going to have on their roster every single year. It's not like the NFL or NHL or Major League Baseball, where there's like a few players trying to make position and stuff like that. So NBA teams know who they're going to have on the roster and stuff like that. And the preseason games at neutral sites eliminated. That's what they have to do, even though they might draw a big crowd at these arenas that don't have an NBA team. But they got to do what they got to do and stuff like that. And if they tweak the preseason schedule, I think they should start the NBA season on October 15th. Another thing that Adam Silver was saying, that he says he's trying to reduce the number of teams that play back-to-back games or 4 games in 5 nights, which there's a lot of that in the NBA schedule, which is not good, especially for older NBA teams, because some of these older NBA teams have players in their 30s and stuff like, and some of them don't want to really be playing back-to-back games or 4 games in 5 nights. And to ease the schedule for that would be helpful and beneficial to some of these teams that are older and stuff like that. You don't want to be playing maybe 5 games a week on a consistent basis, because that's the wear and tear on your team and stuff like that. So I think they'll eventually have the NBA schedule, regular season schedule, maybe around October 15th or October 20th, because this past year, I think it started in October 28th or so. Have it start October 20th and maybe end it maybe around April 12th, April 13th and stuff like that. That would be pretty good. So they could eliminate a lot of back-to-back games. You can't eliminate it entirely, but maybe reduce the number, have teams maybe only play a stretch, maybe 1 or 2 a year that they have 4 games in 5 nights. Another thing that Adam Stern was talking about at his State of the NBA press conference was about the playoff format. The playoff format is this: the top 8 teams in each Eastern and Western Conference of the NBA make the playoffs. And this season, there's 10 Western Conference teams that are over 500 at the All-Star break. 2 of them won't make the playoffs, and it could be a possibility where a 51 team might not even qualify for the playoffs in the Western Conference. While in the Eastern Conference, there's going to be a couple of teams under 500 who make it with under 500. It also seems like most of the Eastern Conference teams this year, except 3, are still mathematically kind of really have a shot at the playoffs and stuff like that. A lot of Western Conference owners have been telling Adam Silver, you got to change the playoff format and have the top 16 teams in the NBA qualify for the playoffs, having a system like the NCAA tournament has. The top seeded teams plays the lower seeded teams with the record rides, but have the 6 division winners automatically get maybe the top 6 seeds fire their record, and the rest of the 10 are seeded accordingly by their record. This would create logistic nightmares, because you could have teams, say Miami and Portland, that would be like a 7-game playoff series, like traveling from coast to coast if it went 7 games. I believe in current playoff format with Eastern Conference, Western Conference throughout the playoffs, but I think they should have a minor tweak. This minor tweak should be like if at the end of the first round they reseed the playoff teams in the Eastern and Western Conference via record, and have the top seeded team play the lower seeded team, and like they used to do in the NHL for many years when they did the playoff format after the first round. That's the tweak I would like to see. And another thing that might be changed is about the NBA draft lottery, about especially teams that are tanking. There's talk that there's a lot of teams that are always tanking that's concerning Adam Silver, because that's not fair to their fans or the players, because they're tanking to get maybe the top pick in the NBA draft, which sometimes the top pick in the NBA draft could turn out to be a flop, or not a good turn out a flop, or maybe get injury prone and stuff like that. And he's maybe talking about penalties about them not getting the top pick, or maybe having the worst records get kind of more ping pong balls, or having an equal shot at the number 1 pick, all the teams that missed the playoffs. I think the NBA draft lottery needs some overhaul and stuff like that, because there's too many teams tanking and stuff like that. But I would not give an equal shot to every NBA playoff team that misses the playoffs a chance at the number 1 pick, because you could have a team that with a winning record misses the playoffs, somehow get lucky and get that number 1 pick, and that number 1 pick could be turned out to be great, and that team's back in the playoffs. And overall, the NBA is very healthy. All of this franchises is stable. There's no franchise relocations or teams in financial trouble. Many of the NBA teams are worth billions of dollars and stuff like that. And with some of these changes that could be proposed, that could happen next year, it's going to make a great NBA, in my opinion. The NBA product's pretty good, but it could be better, in my opinion. And I think some of these with tweaking of the schedules and stuff like that, only playing maybe 2 preseason games, which would be great. They still have still long training camp, and also with easing up the schedule and maybe reseeding the playoff format would make a good NBA, in my opinion. And you could see these changes as early as next year, and it would be good changes. Well, that's about it on that. My 3rd and final video blog is coming, and it's going to be about the Minuteman Bikeway from Al Wife T Station in Cambridge, Massachusetts to Bedford in Massachusetts. I'm going to tell you the history about it and stuff like that. And coming soon to these video blogs, Julie Broughton and Heidi Lee Pratt's video profiles. 2 cute blondes with nice legs. Have a good day, Facebook, YouTube, Daily Motion, Twitter. See you tonight.